Hello, welcome to part 2 of my 2015 NCAA Selection Sunday bracket extravaganza. We move to the South region, where Duke will face a winner against Robert Morris or the NFL Ospreys. And NFL in this case stands for not for long. So we advance Duke. San Diego State, St. John's. Who do you want? And Steve Fisher, who for his 70th birthday would like to get to the Sweet 16, and he's also a top fashion photographer in LA. Let's see some of his work right there. Steve Fisher or Steve Lavin? Who do you go with? Steve Lavin or Steve Fisher? Somebody told me never trust anyone named Steve, which is mostly true, but especially don't trust anyone named Steve Lavin. Utah against Stephen F. Austin, and I got to start going with some upsets here. I love Larry Krystkowiak, Montana boy. Played some years with the Milwaukee Bucks, bruising power forward, but Utah has had some bad losses late in the year. They couldn't seal the deal in a game against Arizona at home. Had another bad loss in the last week. Lumberjacks, second year in a row, they pull a shocker in the second round. Georgetown and Eastern Washington won at Indiana. If you can win at Assembly Hall, then Georgetown on a neutral court is a piece of cake. We're going with the Eagles. Yeah, there's usually 1, 13, 14, or 15 that pulls it off. So there we go. We got a 12-13 matchup in the third round, and that happens. SMU they made sure not to be the victim of a colossal screw job at the hands of the NCAA selection committee this year. They won the American Conference tourney, so. And they go against UCLA, and what was it? Who they lost to a bunch of people by like about 40. I mean, UCLA was awful. Here's one that kind of worries me. UAB's in there after winning their conference tourney, and I have remembered some debacles with ISU basketball in the postseason. I'm trying to remember the last time they even went like deep, like to the Final Eight. I remember them losing the 15-seeded Hampton one year. I will go with them here. And Larry Brown's been doing some shady stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an NCAA investigation there. Not like SMU's not familiar with NCAA investigations in their athletic department. But Fran McCaffrey, I'm not a Fran McCaffrey fan. Davidson, let's take another upset. You know, we're not state-run sports media who's going to go chalk, 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 chalk. We're going to pick some upsets here. So another one, you know what, Man, I love the Bison. Green and gold. Just like the Green Bay Packers. I love that skull. I love them to death. It's in Seattle, though. So I am going to go Gonzaga here. So let's go Duke. I guess I don't have them being that historic first team to lose a 116. SF Austin makes it through the Sweet 16. SMU plays Gonzaga. I got someone just harping at me about he usually likes the little schools like Gonzaga. He just hates the elite schools everyone else talks about. But yeah, I mean, I hear Gonzaga get talked down. Gonzaga, I really have to think about. No, Duke always gets upset. And taking the Aztecs. What the hell? Let's have Steve Fisher, Elite Eight. Pele recently came back, cleared to play again. He's been back looking good. And we're going to have Gonzaga finally go to the Final Four and shutting up their critics, which leaves us with the West Regional. Could this be it? Could this be the historic 16-1 upset? Could the Chanticleers, if the Badgers could lose at Rutgers, they can lose to Coastal Carolina. That can easily happen. I'm not going to pick it though. OSU in Oregon, as Bud Selig would call it. It's Oregon. It drives me nuts. It's like the people who call Wisconsin Wisconsin. I don't know where people get Wisconsin from. It's spelled W-I-S-C-O-N-S-I. I don't see an E in there. It's not W-E-S, it's W-I-S. So, it's your typical 8-9, whoever went. It sets up nicely. Arkansas, they've proven to be Kentucky Spits in the last few weeks. Harvard, Yale tried to, was looking for their first NCAA bid in 50-plus years. They couldn't finish it off in their final regular season game. Had a one-game playoff against Harvard at the Palestra in Philadelphia. Lost that, so Harvard's in. They play North Carolina. Xavier, the NCAA propaganda, they put this one last. And the official NCAA page actually had the spoiler. If you looked at the Tuesday schedule before it was even released on CBS, it had BYU Mississippi. So the people were worried, the Mississippi and BYU fans that were worried that their team might get the shaft if they took a quick look on social media and they saw the screenshots. They knew that their teams were in, and BYU is, I guess their starting lineup is older than the Utah Jazz. It's kind of like when, back in the day when Darrell Bevell quarterbacked the Badgers and he was a few months older. He was a missionary, so he was quarterback for the Badgers. He was a few months older than Brett Favre, and Darrell Bevell wound up being Brett Favre's coach. A nice factoid. I picked Xavier, though. BYU's usually gone by 2 p.m. first Thursday. Never make it past second round. Baylor, if you were Georgia State's coach and you told them at the beginning of the weekend you'll win your conference tournament, but your Achilles will give out in the post-game celebration, I think you'd take it. I think they have a good health benefits package at Georgia State. And in all seriousness, Kevin Ware is also formerly of Louisville, part of the Louisville championship team. Broke his leg 2 years ago. He's now at Georgia State. He'll be going to the dance with a second team. So, and then Shaka Smart. You always gotta love Shaka Smart this time of year. So, and Dick Vitale, Arizona, Texas Southern. Dick Vitale says at Arizona will knock off Wisconsin in the Elite Eight. So let's not even play the game. Let's just advance Arizona to the Final Four by fiat. We are advancing the Arizona Wildcats to the Final Four by fiat. And then Texas Southern, I'm about to say something politically incorrect. We have the two conferences that are historically black institutions. So SWAC usually gets a 16th seed. That's the conference Texas Southern is in, except Hampton won the MEAC with a sub-500 record, so they got put into the 16 in the play-in game, and Texas Southern gets it's usually the other way around. The MEAC usually gets a 15, but the NCAA will never put both of the historically And they are, I mean, it's just fact, they are among, usually, traditionally, the two worst profiles of the 68 teams in the field. But to be politically correct and for public relations purposes, the NCAA will not put both the MEAC champion and the SWAC champion both in play-in games. It's a PR deal. It is what it is. Why don't they just admit it? But anyway, Arkansas, North Carolina. Here we got Xavier. Let's take. I didn't pick Georgia State to win that game. It's going to be Baylor. I am going to go Baylor Bears, and Wisconsin Arizona would be a great rematch. A fantastic game last year in Anaheim, but you know what? I like Shaka Smart. I go with Shaka Smart this time of year. He turned on Marquette, and one of these years he's going to take one of the elite jobs. Maybe Crean goes. Maybe Shaka Smart heads to Indiana or UCLA. That's a couple possibilities. I can't go against the Badgers. If you know me, love me some Badgers. So, unlike state-run media, I have got, well, okay, I do have Kentucky, I do have Wisconsin, but I got number 2 Gonzaga, which I bet you no one's going with, and I got number 7 Michigan State. So we're going to have, and this would be great if it came down to it again. Kentucky was a fantastic game. And, it was like midway through the first half in Dallas last year, and who I call the AAU All-Americans on the University of Kentucky, they all took their hands and slapped them on the floor, all in unison. And that's when Kentucky just said to Wisconsin, we're in it for 40 minutes. And, fantastic game. UK won it with a 3-pointer at the buzzer. Hey, I hope this happens again. Vitale says you can have the rest of the field. He'll take Kentucky. Let's not even play the Final Four neither. Let's just have Kentucky against Arizona after Kentucky win the national championship by fiat. And I have, why not an all Big Ten championship game, rematch of the Big Ten championship game, and you know what? That was a fantastic game today in Chicago. And you know what? Bo needs the national championship. I wrote about it last year for Midwest sports fans. Bo Ryan has become at least equal to what Al McGuire's legacy was with Marquette. So there you have it. Hope you enjoy it. Enjoy the tournament, everyone. You just heard the best 25 minutes of tournament analysis you'll hear anywhere.